Hi everyone, welcome back. Just move this forward. Welcome back. Today I've got a fun video for you. So I am going to be showing you 8 books that you could read during the quarantine. You may have heard of some of these. One of them I've actually done a video about, so you may have heard of that one. But there are some that are quite well known and some that are a bit, less well known. So I split it into 4 categories and I've got 2 for each. So we have 2 general witchy books, we have 2 self-care witchy books, we have 2 poetry books and 2 folklore books. So without further ado, let's get into it. So obviously this isn't me saying you have to read these books during quarantine, otherwise you're a crap person and you've been wasting your quarantine time. Obviously not at all. But if you were looking for some inspiration, I think these lend themselves quite nicely to the amount of time that we've got now. Because I just feel like lockdown is just dragging on and on and on, and it's just something else to do, isn't it? So the first one is the magical writing grimoire. So if you watched my previous video, I think it was, or the one before, I can't remember, but I'll link it down below or somewhere if I can work it out. You will know this one. It is so good and I am absolutely loving it. I need to go through it and do more of the exercises, but it is just fantastic. So it's the magical writing grimoire. Use the word as your wand for magic manifestation and ritual. And it's just the most lovely, that's where my bookmark is, lovely book. That's like a nice example page right there. So how to write your own spells and incantations. And yeah, it's just right up my alley, as you will probably know. So yeah, that's definitely one that you can really get into, because I think now that quite a lot of us, if you've furloughed or off work or whatever, we have a bit of time where we can do things that we wouldn't have had time to do normally. It's just quite a nice way of turning this horrible, awful thing into, at least something positive, at least a little speck of positivity has come out of this whole absolute shambles. So if you fancy doing some more writing, or you are a writer and you want to incorporate this into your practice, this is for you. So the next one I actually have on my tablet. So let's just open this up. You will have heard of this one. If you haven't, I would be very, very surprised. But it is this, Psychic Witch by Matt Oren, is that how you say it? A metaphysical guide to meditation, magic and manifestation. And this is one I've had on here for a little while now, and I have got reasonably far through it, but it's one that I'm not doing all at once. It's split, let me just show you how it works. It's split into 15 chapters, and Chapter 1 is the power and the sight, meditation, then meditation and relaxation, tuning in, extrasensory perception, and so on and so forth. So his general message in this book is that anyone can develop psychic ability. And he leads you through insights and instructions and exercises for you to be able to basically hone that yourself. So he doesn't believe it's necessarily something you are either born with or you are not born with. He believes that some people have more of an innate ability, but anyone can learn it. So I love that, because I like kind of accessibility and not feeling shut out of things. So the reason that it's taken me so long to do is because you do have to do it in order and do each of the techniques, as you go. So it's very structured. You can't just skip ahead and read ahead and think, oh yeah, I'll do the exercise tomorrow. So it's just taken me a long time to get through it. But this is a perfect example of a good thing to do if you are bored at home, because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort, and it's something to do. And I think by the end of it, it'll just be, and you'll have developed your abilities so much. Sorry, I just keep looking at it and flicking through. But yeah, I just think you will have developed your abilities so much by the end of this. So, and it's just full of really amazing information. It has such a good reputation. I see people raving about it all over the witchy community. So even though I haven't actually finished the book, I do feel pretty good about recommending it. But bear in mind that I haven't finished it, so there might be something majorly problematic in the middle or the end of the book that I don't know about, so yeah. I'll probably be doing an in-depth review on that one when I've finished it, so yeah. So the second category I've got is self-care. We know how important self-care is, obviously, and I don't think that it will come as any surprise to you, the book I'm about to recommend. This is another one that's been doing the rounds quite a lot within kind of the past year or two. And it is, of course, The Witch's Book of Self-Care. This is by Aaron Murphy Hiscock, and she's also written quite a few other books. So, The Witch's Book of Self-Care, Magical Ways to Pamper, Soothe and Care for Your Body and Spirit. And as much as it seems like it would just be a book full of, you know, bath salts recipes, which it does have, it also has a lot of the witchy side as well. It has a lot of rituals and it has a lot of kind of spells. It feels very all-encompassing, like here, be willing to accept failure, create a treasure bag for self-care, and then it's got recipes in it as well, leek and potato soup, gazpacho. Bear in mind that one or two of the, in fact actually quite a few of the recipes, if you follow a plant-based diet, they might not be suitable for you, so that is worth bearing in mind. But you can always adapt things, and that's not really why you would buy this anyway. Lots of, as I said, bath kind of recipes, which you would very much imagine. A section on spiritual self-care, so ritual to connect to your world, ritual to review your spiritual beliefs, daily kick-off ritual, end-of-day ritual, preparing for meditation, mindfulness, breathing, walking, focusing, and it's just, yeah, I feel like it's a very all-encompassing mind, body and spirit, which, you know, is kind of what it says. And I just think we all really need a little bit of this, and it's very cheap as well. It says on the back $12.99, but when I got it, I'm sure it was about £3 at the works, and that's why it's been doing the rounds, I think, because everyone's like, oh my god, so cheap books. So if you want to have a look on the works, it might be there, but it might have sold out, who knows. But if you can get hold of this, I would definitely recommend. The next book I'm recommending is also on my Kindle, so I'll just pull that one up. And this is another one that I've not finished the whole way through, but I've read quite a lot of it. And I would be very interested to see what people think about this in terms of cultural appropriation. I've not really thought about it in too much depth, but I would be very, very interested to see, because I love this book. I really, really do. But there were one or two bits in it that made me feel a little tiny bit uncomfortable when I was reading it, and maybe I'm being too sensitive. I probably am. I am ridiculously sensitive, but anyway, I'll just show you what the book is, I think. It's the most gorgeous cover ever, but it is Yoga for Witches. So, by Sarah Robinson, sorry, I should have said that. This book is, again, amazing for those of us who have the witchy side, but also the need for physical self-care and relaxation. And we all know all the benefits of yoga, everyone talks about them all the time, and mixing that with witchcraft is just such an amazing combination in my mind. But I would be interested to see what people think regarding the appropriation factor, because there is a lot of talk about, you know, white people doing yoga, just typical Western behaviour. But in this book, she does seem like she really respects, she completely respects, she doesn't seem like she does, respects the history of yoga. She knows all about it. Like, she's not just cherry picking bits that take her fancy and westernising them. She knows her stuff. She's clearly studied it really extensively. So I don't feel bad, you know, supporting this book as I might do if someone was just like being very surface level with it. It feels like she has studied it for years and years and years, and she, yeah, just knows what she's talking about, basically. So, Yoga for Witches, it starts off with a quote by Crowley. and he says, am I then supposed to be saying that yoga is merely the handmaiden of magic, or that magic has no higher function than to supplement yoga? By no means. It is the cooperation of lovers. The practices of yoga are almost essential to success in magic. Damn. So she gives you a lot of background. What is witchcraft? All about yoga and the different types of yoga, and about all the elements of yoga, the code of conduct. It is very, very in-depth, much more than I expected, but that's a good thing. And then she brings the two together, combining them and how. And then, yeah, just loads and loads of amazing information. So the chapters are, there's loads of them, but I'll give you some examples. In search of magic, energy magic, grounding, meditation magic, magic on the mat, magic words, daily magic, animal, moon, sun, earth magic, ritual and celebration, and spreading the magic. I said I'd give you a few, but I just gave you all of them. So yeah, if that sounds like something you're into, and you are into yoga and you are into witchcraft and you want to bring them together, then Yoga for Witches could definitely be for you. What category are we on now? We're on poetry, so that's exciting. Poetry is absolutely my thing. I just love it, and I love just going in poetry books and writing all over them in a sacrilegious manner. So yeah, I love it. So if you are like me and you work with goddesses, but if you are not like me and you work a lot with Greek goddesses, then, or even just deity in general, then this could be for you. It is Great Goddesses by Nikita Gill, and it says life lessons from myths and monsters. It's a book of poetry that is all about Greek goddesses, and it's got a very feminist kind of slant to it. I'm getting no pictures now whatsoever. Now I'm trying to show you. There we are. Beautiful, beautiful again. The way that she writes, I just absolutely adore it. It's very modern, very fresh. If you are into poetry and you're into goddess worship, or even just interested in goddesses in an academic capacity, then this beautiful, beautiful book would be a great one to dive into, because you don't have to sit for hours and hours and concentrate on poetry. You can just open it, read it out at your altar if you want to, or you can just read it and enjoy it, and you can annotate it, you can not annotate it, you can just stare at the gorgeous cover, because it is one of the most beautiful I have ever seen. And moving on to my favourite poetry book of the now, this Spells, 21st Century Occult Poetry. And this is an anthology. It's edited by Sarah Shin and Rebecca Tamas. And Rebecca Tamas is like my ultimate favourite poet at the minute, but kind of all time. I don't know, I am obsessed with Rebecca Tamas, so I trust her judgment completely. So it's got this cool little cutout as well, which I kind of like. I don't know. And it is basically what it says on the tin. It's just an anthology full of really very amazing occult poetry. I am going to be definitely doing an in-depth, ridiculously in-depth review of this. It might even be my next video, so subscribe if you want to see that. And yeah, it can get quite dark. It's very real, very raw. It's not, airy fairy and happy times, but it's real, and that's kind of what I love about poetry, that you can communicate things that are very difficult to communicate, and you can do it through poetry and make it into something beautiful. So just throwing it around. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love this, but also because it combines my two loves of my life, poetry and witchiness. We've got two left. And the first one I will show you, we are on the category of folklore mythology type things. I think they're both folklore, yes they are. And the first one is this, I don't know if you can read that yet, A Treasury of British Folklore, and this is actually published by the National Trust. So it says Maples, Mandrakes and Mistletoe, and it's by D.D. Cheney. I can't remember where I got this from. I think it was the Cabinet of Curiosities. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. And also, I can't remember if I've talked about this book before. I might have, possibly. I've definitely posted a picture of that Guy Trash on my Instagram. So, babe. I'm joking, obviously. Yeah. So, I'll read you the blurb on this one, I think. An entertaining and engrossing collection of British customs, superstitions and legends past and present. Discover a world of Cornish pixies and stone circles, of slumbering giants and shape-shifting river spirits, of feasting straw bears and maypole dances. Learn how a green frog can be used to open locks, how hanging trousers from the foot of the bed can ward off fairy visits, and why you shouldn't get married in May. Author D.D. Cheney is co-founder of the #Folklore Thursday, a hugely successful online folklore magazine. In this book, she reveals how Britain's rich folklore still shapes our lives and where you can go to see it in action today. So that's just awesome. And again, this is another one where you can really just dip in and go to whichever bits that you like. So it's kind of split up in sections. 3 sections actually here. So the first one is of the land, plants and animals. The second is witchcraft, magic and heroic tales. And the third one is the milestones of life. And within those they're split into subcategories. So I hope you can see that. And it's just really well written, and it's a beautiful, lovely little book, and it's just nice to snuggle up with just for 10 minutes and just read one little section. And it's also good if you're thinking, oh, what's a red cap, what's a goblin, what's, you know, just little things just to look them up in here. It's really nice, and it's got all sorts of funny little stories in it that you wouldn't necessarily know. And it is all British, so if you are from Britain then awesome, but if you're not then it's still really fun. So the last one is this, and it is Botanical Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland by Lisa Schneido. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, so I'm really sorry if I butchered it. But I mean, that's another gorgeous cover, isn't it? But yeah, this one is also just basically a compendium of stories all about British folklore with regards to plants and trees, which is just so up my street. I absolutely love it, and it is chock full of stories. I'll see if I can. It's like this. That's the contents page, so you can see the headings and subheadings. So there's loads, and it's just really nice to snuggle up it while you can't go anywhere, and you know, make a cup of tea and just read some lovely little stories. And they're all really nicely, really well written. And she has also actually done Woodland Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland as well. So if you want even more, Woodland Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland. So absolutely beautiful, and yeah, it's just so nice. And I appreciate that these are still quite Britain centric, but that's just what I'm recommending for now. And I feel like even if you're not from Britain or Ireland, it is nice to read about folklore no matter where it's about, to be honest. So yeah, that is it. That is all of them. That is all of my recommendations for you to read during lockdown, during quarantine. So I do want some book recommendations, so if any of you have recommendations, please do leave them down in the comments section. Let me know if you've read any of these books, what you think. Do you love them? Do you hate them? And why? Subscribe and like the video, of course. And follow me on Instagram at RGWoodWitch. And I think that is pretty much it. I feel like I just absolutely raced through all those. I've only been 24 minutes. Although that's actually quite a long time, isn't it? I will be doing even more, you know I already do my rambling reviews for really in-depth reviews on books. I've already done a few. I've done the Book of English Magic. I've done the Book of English Magic, I've done the Magical Writing Grimoire, and I've done a couple of others, and I've got one filmed for Tarot 101 by Kim Huggins, so that'll be coming out soon. So yeah, definitely subscribe if you want to see that. And yeah, I hope you are keeping well, I hope you're keeping safe, I hope your family's doing well, and all your friends. And yeah, just I'm sending you so much love, and I thought I would wear this little sweet headband. I feel like it's starting to get to spring. I'm feeling very spring-like at the minute, so I'm really excited. So I went with the flower crown in my kind of hyper excited state, and it's nice. Anyway, bye.